The people that first came here were from Akron, Ohio, and they found it to be a good place to live with the wide open spaces, the clean air, the beautiful mountains. I guess that it was born from a need of armament for the war, and they stayed and they raised their children. Goodyear, of course, came out from Akron, Goodyear Tire and Rubber, and managed the aircraft plant.
Just 18 years after its founding, Goodyear is the world's largest tire company. That same year, to ensure supplies of quality materials, the company starts its own plantation in Arizona to grow cotton for tire cord.
It was a big change for them from Akron. So they worked on things like getting milk delivery and getting the post office set up. And in the meantime, they talked about what they would name this town. And that committee decided on Goodyear. It was a small town, you knew everybody. Most of the people did work for Goodyear Aircraft or Goodyear Farms. Goodyear Aircraft was very important to the city of Goodyear. During the war at its peak, it employed over 7,000 people, worked 24 hours a day. And they were building different parts to planes.
A Navy patrol plane, routine patrols. Only behind every cloud may be an enemy. Behind the cloud, the jets attack!
Goodyear has a rich history in aviation, as you can see in World War II. Some of the plants here that were actually being built, some of the planes, World War I, we had the tires from the cotton fields that were used for the planes. World War II, we have the naval base that was located here as well. So as we grow in through here, we're still using this as a major piece for aviation. You have Aviate, which actually trains pilots for United Air. You also have the German Air Force here. Every pilot in the German Air Force has to go through Goodyear as part of their stop as they're getting their training along. But here's just some pictures of people who actually participated in all of those. And it's military planes. This is awesome to see all the history. That's always find interesting, a naval base in the middle of the desert. What are you gonna say?
Then, of course, the war ended. And not soon after that, Goodyear Aircraft closed down. And of course, the rumors were Goodyear had become a ghost town. We managed to stay afloat. And then in 1949, the Department of Defense owned the plant, and they auctioned it off. And Goodyear Tire and Rubber won the bid on it. So it reopened, and they were doing the blimps. They were doing the Macy's parade characters, working on radar, and so they did a lot of things. And the Navy base after the war also changed from an active airfield, but they took on the storage of all those warplanes that were salvageable. There was one commander at that base with an imagination and marketing skills, and at one time he had every plane along that fence line was a different aircraft. So it showed all the different aircrafts that had been used in the war. It was very good. In the late 50s, the town expanded up to Van Buren, and the shopping centers started coming in. With the growth of the city of Goodyear, I just felt it was important to document and photograph and save the remnants of that small town.
It's so great that we keep in remember that Goodyear has such a rich history of aviation, and it's important for all of us to realize of how that is and what it took us from the start of how began from a World War I, World War II, and where we are today. And it's important for all the residents to know where we come from, because this small town feel that we had way back in 1946, we're still trying to maintain in this year of 2025.
Well, Goodyear started as a town to support the war effort. And when the aircraft plant closed after the war, people thought Goodyear was finished, but it wasn't. We went on to grow and thrive and become a thriving community, a city.